it's definitely, you can't do that on squats because you just run out of air and you'll just die. But I think on things like bicep curls, especially like cable bicep curls, upright rows, leg presses, some pressing machines, I think that you can absolutely take those breathers and keep going. That's where the logbook comes super fucking handy, because if you don't have a logbook, you never know how hard you're trying. But if you have a logbook and it's like, okay, I did 30 total reps last time, except I did them in 5 mini sets. You look at it and you're like I've had times on the leg press where I look at what I did last week and I'm like, God damn it, are you serious? But then I do it again or I get a PR. And I think that kind of training is super beneficial, especially when
another question there that allows me to segue onto them is that when you do those kind of rest balls or myo reps, do you keep the number of pauses that you take consistent on each attempt? So like I always take 3, for example. I don't then suddenly try to get my rep total by taking a 4th or a 5th. Is that something that you keep constant as well?
So I think the most intelligent approach is to keep it constant, and here's why. If you're going to calculate your MRV, or basically have a way of figuring out if you're recovered or not, how do you track your performance? You have to have it under stable conditions, otherwise you don't know. For example, if you did 15 total reps and it took you 4 mini sets, and then next week with the same amount of weight, or let's say 5 kilos more, you did 13 total reps and it took you the same number of mini sets, that's definitely a decline in performance.
Sure.
If you repeat that next week, it's time to deload or time to change something, because you're clearly under recovery. If, however, you don't know how many mini sets it takes you to do it, then what you end up doing is like, hey, I got 15 again, but it took you 5 mini sets, or it took you 4 breaths instead of 3 between reps. And then all of a sudden, you can be training for weeks over your maximum recoverable volume, which just means you're digging a bigger hole for yourself, and arguably losing muscle session to session. So it has to be something that, like, it's not just an opportunity to go nuts and just keep going. It has to be something you track, and it has to be something you write down, and you look at your sheet like, okay, over 3 sets, I did this many reps. That means you get the benefit of going close to failure, backing off, close to failure, backing off, but you don't pay the cost of just having no idea if you're actually getting better or not, which is the tempting. And another problem, a similar problem occurs with something I call giant sets, but I think I'm wrong, marathon sets maybe. Like, you take dumbbells and you do upright rows with them for like 80 total reps. It's like however many sets it takes to get that where. If you don't count the number of sets it takes you to get there, or if you're not very careful about other exercises that also use your side delts, you can exceed your maximum recoverable volume and have no idea. Because eventually you could be like, well, it took me 12 sets to get to 80 reps. It only took me 9 sets to get to 70. Like, man, that probably means you're actually weaker than you were, which is just not a sustainable way to train. It's not productive. So I think for sure you got to keep track of it.
Like, I also find myself removing those things once I'm into a caloric deficit as well. So like the myo reps or the rest pause sets, just I find them kind of the fatigue that they accumulate for me in terms of like my neurological capabilities, they absolutely destroy me. So then when I'm looking to just maintain muscle, I don't even then implement those strategies because I just find them just too aggressive for me personally.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I think when you have a caloric surplus to play with, your magnitude of fatigue tolerance, your recovery ability is bigger, so you can dump more shit that has a bigger stimulus with it, but pays a bigger cost of fatigue. Yeah. On the other hand, when you are training in such a way that, you know, your fatigue tolerance is really low, you got to be real wise with what you put in that bucket, because the bucket's just not that big anymore. And sometimes that's the thing is fat loss training. Sometimes your training in the gym is just not as sexy as it looks in your off season, which is actually really funny to me. Like, maybe it's, I don't know, it's easier to understand in a pharmacological context than it is in any other, because you'll have bodybuilders be like, I'm stronger in my fat loss phase than I am in my off season. Like, I train even harder, and it's like, yeah, I guess it's because you're off season, you're only running like a gram total, and then in your fucking pre-contest you run like 4 grams, and 1.5 grams of that is trend. Like, yeah, if you take enough trend, you can just keep getting stronger until you literally fall into pieces, which also happens. But you know, it's one of those situations where, you know, then you can understand why they would say that. But I think ideally, your amount of gear that you run off season versus contest is a little bit more similar, so that you end up growing as much as you can in your off season and not underdosing yourself. And in addition to that, there's only so much gear you can run pre-contest until you're just shooting yourself for no goddamn reason at all. Like, I've never been convinced that taking more than 5 grams total is just getting you anywhere. I mean, I don't even know where you're going at that point.
Absolutely, I very much agree. I very much agree.
So,
cool. I think we covered some pretty exciting stuff there. I certainly benefited a lot from it. So if anyone else didn't, then fuck them.
So, thank you so much for the conversation. It's an honor. Let me recap quickly what you sort of concluded. Fuck the logbook. I don't even know how to read or write. Go into the gym, fucking just do rep after rep, shitloads of volume, 80 sets of workout, and you're gonna get big if the fucking willpower is strong.
Don't sound like that.
Steve, can you please sound like that? We just troll people. And it's like, look, if you believe this, you're stupid enough to believe it, fuck it. You deserve everything you've got.
People who don't have a clue what you talk about normally, Mike.
It's interesting, like, the British are really good about sarcasm and understanding it. Some other people just aren't, and I have trouble because I'm really sarcastic, so sometimes on Instagram I'll put, like, a sarcastic comment, and people are like, really, Dr. Mike? I'm like, no, not really, this is what I said was completely insane, and, like, you need to put an emoji so when we know you're sarcastic, like, if you're that bad at reading sarcasm, every bad thing in life you've got coming to you. Fuck you. I'm not a part of the problem. I'm just a preview of how much your life is gonna suck. If you're that fucking dense. Anyway.
Brilliant. Thank you guys so much for this discussion. I think it's been brilliant.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thanks, Jordan.
Cheers, Mike. Yeah, I'll be in touch again at some point. I'll probably tap you up for some more information.
Very cool. I'll see you on Instagram in any case.
Fantastic. Cheers, guys.
Right. Bye.
For one. One. 3 minutes remaining. Opponents are pulling away. Drag them back. One minute. That shut them down. Rise from this loss and fight again. Every battle has a consequence. Sometimes we lose.
Coach Greg, and I'm here to talk to you today about Christian Guzman's gaining 30 pounds in under a month following his show. Before I get into that, I'm not a doctor, nor am I a dietitian. I don't have any special, amazing training into the physiology of this, other than having my master's in kinesiology. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Is this common? Is it normal? Is he a freak? Is it ridiculous? No, it's super common. It happens all the time because people who diet for shows are primarily morons. Is he a moron? Of course he's a moron. He's an idiot. So what happened? So he essentially dieted really hard and got into the best shape of his life, as he said. And then a month later, he was, and I quote, a puffy whale. That's what he said about himself. So I'm not saying anything he doesn't already know. How did he get there? Because he drank like a fish, alcohol all the time, margaritas, whatever he said, was eating sushi left and right, should have been sashimi, doesn't listen to me, anyway, and just eating what he wants and when he wants. And a lot of you are thinking, yeah, that's what you should do, he's on vacation. You shouldn't yo-yo diet. It's stupid. It's not healthy. It's bad for you. It's about having balance, people. So is it his first show? Has he ever dieted before? Yes. He points to this throughout his video that he knows better. He's done this before. Each show it's like this. But this is the most he'd ever been in his life.
Guys, not even joking, this is the heaviest I've ever been in my life. Ever.
200 pounds! I have never in my life, not even peak bulk at nighttime, I've never, ever in my life weighed 200 pounds.
1 month after a show, you should not be setting records for the heaviest you've ever been in your life. So he got down to 167.8 pounds, he said, and he was then 200.8 pounds. Mind you, he was holding a phone or something. And so he was up 30 pounds in 30 days. That is a lot of gaining, okay? What is it? Well, what part of it is water. It's not 30 pounds of fat. So he even described, like I do, as a sponge. So when you're dieting down, you're squeezing the sponge out, the water's getting rid of it from your body, and the carbs and the glycogen, so you're losing a lot of weight and you're shrunk down. Then after, you start drinking. Boom, it's coming back in, you start eating carbs, glycogen forms, muscles fill out, and you swell up. It's normal to gain 10 pounds. Normal. But 30? That's fat at that point. After that first 10 pounds, you're then just gaining fat. So why would he allow himself to do that? Because he doesn't care. But really, is it that he doesn't care at all? He's like, I'm doing a mini cut. I'm cutting. I'm dieting now. I'm going to do 30 minutes of cardio. And then he does the 30 minutes of cardio, burns 300 calories. Like, yeah, that's going to help me. I'm going to lose 15 pounds a week doing this. Guys, you have to do 12 sessions of 300 calories that you're burning to lose a pound of fat. So in other words, 30 minutes of cardio is going to do next to FUCK all, okay? It's not enough. Whatever you're doing to get you shredded, you have to keep doing. If you want to look good year-round, you can't just follow these stupid crash diets. So guaranteed, he was eating some kind of bullshit diet of broccoli, tilapia, some fish and asparagus and blah, blah, boring. Guaranteed, he didn't have French toast. Guaranteed, he didn't eat popcorn on his diet. How much weight have I gained since my show? I've gained, can't even do this, 10 pounds. And it's been almost 7 weeks for me. 10 pounds. 10, not 30. Why? Because my diet is better than every other human being's diet on this planet. Hire me and you will find out very quickly. The diet you should follow has to be a diet that you can use year-round. And it's been almost 7 weeks for me. 10 pounds. 10, not 30. Why? Because my diet is better than every other human being's diet on this planet. Hire me and you will find out very quickly. The diet you should follow has to be a diet that you can use year-round. If you diet and crash diet, which is what Christian Guzman did, it's the, 30-month get shredded diet. Yeah, whatever. If you get shredded because you starve yourself, and you can do it because you're highly motivated to do this show where you're going to stand and do your turns and do your little poses. Then the show's over. Motivation becomes zero. Why? Because you ate tilapia and fish for 3 months, and what did you want? Sushi and burgers and alcohol. So then the show's over, and then your body is like, oh my God, if we have to starve ourselves again, we better make sure we have a lot of fat. So your body almost forces you. It's almost a forced feeding that your brain takes over and says, eat and eat. You eat 7 donuts, and it says, 7? Stephanie Buttermore can eat 12 and go eat 2 more buffets right after. Eat 40 donuts. And so you eat until you're sick and you're ready to throw up, but you don't, and you just keep eating. That's what your life becomes after show. How do I know? Because I've done 55 shows, and I did shows when I was a teenager, and I remember how hungry I was. I would eat 4 liters of ice cream and still be hungry. You can't do anything about it. You can't fight hunger like that. So what is the secret? You need to eat low-calorie dense foods. I keep telling everybody. No one seems to believe me. I don't understand. Just because I don't have a million followers, you don't think I know what I'm talking about? If you eat a stupidly huge, a 5-pound salad, big, and you try to eat donuts after, you will not be physically able to eat a dozen donuts after. You will probably eat one and be like, oh my god, I can't eat anything more. The secret is filling yourself up on low-calorie, dense foods. The protein ice cream shake, where you put it over your head, it's so thick and you eat it after you're done that. You can't eat a 12-inch pizza. I can eat 2 12-inch pizzas easily right now if I want to, but not after a salad and a shake. I can't eat one slice, I'm so full. So you eat things that are filling. If I eat 10 French toast for breakfast, I'm friggin' stuffed. That's a lot of food. I can't eat more. If I can't eat one slice ice cream shake, where you put it over your head.
Take those zones, Guardian. Victory demands it. Zone A captured. Enemy claimed Zone C. Zone B captured. You have zone advantage. Zone C captured. That's a power play. You took them, now hold them. That's why we have fire teams. You're pulling ahead. Keep it that way. Zone A lost. I envy your strength, Titan. Double down. Zone A captured. Power play. Keep the pressure on. Zone B lost. Relax, Guardian. You're scaring them. They'll never want to match with you again. If you want it, this battle is yours. Take it! Zone B captured. That's a power play. You took them, now hold them. Zone A lost. Zone A captured. That's a power play. You took them, now hold them. 2 for 1. Triple down. I've seen enough. I'm calling this one. Sound tactics bring victory.